Greetings and welcome. Before we go any further, I want to invite you to pause, not just to hear the words of this week's phrase, but to feel them. I came into this world equipped to thrive. I came here being enough, and I continue to be enough to surmount impediments. This is not a mantra. It is not a pretty affirmation for hard days. This is truth, a soul truth, a declaration of the divine intelligence woven into your very being. You were not sent here empty-handed. You did not arrive with a blank slate waiting to be validated by the world. You came equipped. You came enough. You still are. Even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. So today, let us return to this knowing. Let us take this phrase beyond language and let it settle as remembrance. Because when we begin from enough, we live from wholeness, not from hustle. There is a kind of forgetting that happens when we enter this world. We forget that we arrived already whole, already stamped with the essence of sufficiency, already encoded with what we needed to thrive, not just survive. Somewhere between cultural expectation and inherited trauma, we were taught that we must become something before we are worthy, that we must gather tools before we are trusted with the path. But that is backwards. The soul arrives equipped, with wisdom embedded, with breath as an altar, with memory that whispers even through the static of this realm. Yes, growth is real. Yes, refinement is sacred. But let us not confuse refinement with permission. You were permitted by the Most High the moment you entered. You are not lacking. You are layered. You are not missing. You are maturing. And maturing does not mean starting from nothing. It means learning how to wield the plenty that you came with. But let's be honest. Sometimes the lie of not enough is so well dressed, it feels like truth. We see people with talent, beauty, wisdom, resources, still reaching for something someone else has, stacking their own treasures in a corner just to prove they can do something that was never theirs to hold. But I guess we have all done it in some way. We have all looked across the room or the screen or the timeline and thought, why not me? Why not that? But your soul's enoughness has nothing to do with duplication. It has everything to do with authentic function. You are not meant to do everything. You are meant to do what is yours and do it in fullness. What would happen if the eye envied the air? If the mouth resented the hand. If every part of the body turned against its role out of comparison, the body would fall apart. And in many ways, so have we. We live in a time when we are pit against one another, sometimes by systems, sometimes by insecurity, sometimes by old pain. But if we can move beyond comparison into communion, we start to see that we do not need to have it all. We were meant to share it all through unity, through peace, through love, through the awareness that enoughness does not mean sameness. It means completeness in your own thread of the weave. But let us not soften it too much. Let us tell the truth with love. When we deny our enoughness, when we trade it away for applause or belonging or threats, we undermine our own purpose. Because whether you jump high or crouch low, whether you mimic or shrink or overperform, you are still what you are. Your soul knows when it's not being true. We confuse ourselves trying to juggle too many selves. But there is a spiritual law at play here. You cannot serve two masters. You are either building or breaking down, within, around, or through you. That is not judgment. That is awareness. And when we become aware, we can choose better. We can choose truth. We can choose authenticity as our offering. Because the best way to serve your purpose is to stop trying to become someone else's. And here's the deeper thing no one wants to see. You were never supposed to feel like enough in this world. Because a lot of what runs this world profits when you don't. There is a design, spiritual and systemic, that chips away at your memory of wholeness, that confuses survival with identity, that rewards mimicry and punishes sovereignty. This is not just forgetting. This is war. Quiet, subtle, but very real. A war against your attention, against your very essence. And if we don't see that, we might end up doing the enemy's work for them, tearing down each other, doubting your own design, and abandoning the very assignment we came here to fulfill. But here's what you needed to hear. You are not just enough to survive your challenges. You are enough to surmount them. And to do that, you must first recognize them. Some impediments are loud: poverty, illness, oppression. But many are quiet, like doubt, self-betrayal, or the inner voice that whispers, "Who do you think you are?" Do not ignore these voices. Identify them. Call them what they are. They are not truth. They are resistance dressed in familiarity. And you? You are not only equipped to name them, you are equipped to climb over them, to walk through them, to dissolve them, to outgrow them. Every time you reclaim belief in yourself, you are stepping over a mountain that once tried to sit on your chest. But today, you remember. And remembrance is a weapon, a balm, a return. Let this be written on your spirit. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are part of a divine design crafted with care, endowed with purpose. Your enoughness is not something to earn. It is something to remember. And when you remember, you disarm the lie. When you remember, you begin to live from truth. And truth, when lived, changes everything. Set aside a moment of stillness this week and ask, where in my life have I forgotten that I am enough? What parts of me have I traded, hidden, or doubted in the name of being acceptable? And what would it look like to reclaim them? Not in performance, but in peace. If you are journaling or praying, you can add, how can I return to what is real, even in a world of filters?